Hello and welcome, as it is the, what day is it? It's the 22nd day of June 2018. Technical analysis video. Busy beaver I am with these videos, and with all the programming and work that I've done, there was really just two trades or two situations I had to execute after I was completed. And then, now that I look at these markets, well, this is BitBean on the 1 hour time frame. This is XMY. I own this one, and I own a very little amount of BitBean. Monetary unit. It's having an interesting move as well. I own that as well. I own Geo. I'm going to focus more on that. But notice the percentage moves. This is just in the last few hours, since around 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'm just going to scroll down so you can see percentage moves. 3%, 2% for a lot of them, 1%. As far as what's in the negative, they're all barely down under 1% for these, and I don't got many left. 1%, 2%, 3%. So spread, coin, cloak, THC. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting on THC. It keeps going down. I wanted this to go to 1,000, but I've been doing all these videos about buying on strength and protecting yourself from markets going lower, and that's all fine and dandy, and I might even do a little bit of such, but I still love my strategy. Buying low, selling high. Geo, I had a sell transaction today, or I just noticed that after doing my Litecoin research. Of course, everything you do is within your own risk, own reward. Let's show you. I'm just going to move or scroll the chart to the right and remove the statistics that you're seeing. Okay, so this is Geo on the 60-minute time frame. To first show you this on the daily, this is a spot where this has been in just a massive downtrend, and this twice came up to the 18 average of highs. So I bought on this break lower. 1 hour time frame again. So I bought here, and the market continued to retrace lower. I wasn't buying more. Not when I buy at 3,000 and it goes only down to 20. I had that line lower for where I would have. But when this high happened, I sold this 4 Satoshi from the top. The top is 34,999. My sell order was 34,995. How do you do, basically? And then instantly falls back down. So I noticed that day, oh, sell, okay. And then I see it comes down to this level, or I sold it immediately, put a buy order in. But I would have seen, oh, it's 24 now, yeah, I'll buy it. And then the market goes up. I could have sold here, bought back, but no, I didn't sell here. However, I ended up just having another transaction where I sold this about 33,000 and change, so about 800, I think it was, 800 Satoshi, 900 Satoshi from the top on this one. And I just bought this back again at 24. So this is, again, the strategy in which I would prefer to do. So where did I put my sell order? The exact same spot where I did before. And as far as the numbers are concerned, I know this is small text, but I buy 70, and then I sold 88, 18 at the number. I bought 24, a little bit cheaper than what the 18 sold it for me. I sold 22 of the 24 that I had bought, so I basically got 2 free tokens. And then I just bought back 28 from the 22, again, a little cheaper than what it cost before, and I've got 25 for sale, again at the 33 high dollar level. Well then, what I think I'll do is maybe take a look at a bunch of these other charts on the daily time frame, because it's important for me as a trader to do such. And I'm just wrapping my night through, so I'll just go through a bunch of other codes. We have NXC. It's down a lot, but barely going up. Here we have Solar with an attempt in reverting the trend. Voxels, same thing. First coin, we have ArtByte, just getting barely above the 18 average of closes. But what we're seeing is the markets, all of them on the short term, doing a attempt to revert the trends. This has got okay volume here, but on the 1 hour. BNT, after it's been down a lot, it's up to the 18 average of lows. Oh my goodness, I do not like when this happens. Did I buy any? Okay, I can't remember if I bought more or not. I do have a buy order in here. You know, that's on me for not checking the last couple of days. I had 3 days to buy here if I didn't. I could still technically put a buy. No, that was just. Well, technically speaking, I'm going to have to check it out because mathematically, if you have a buy order here and this happens, you either got. To me, you have 3 choices. Choice number 1. Pay the piper, remove your buy order, and just buy now. Choice number 2, barely increase it a bit, appears above what the low is. And choice number 3, decrease the number a little bit more to what a decent size leg lower is. Maybe try to find a Fibonacci downside on maybe a time frame or 2 shorter than the one that you're looking at. But yeah, edgeless is something I'm going to have to take care of before I go to bed. Just take a look at that. ZCL, now I've been not talking about this and I've been meaning to about 10 or 50 every single time I look at this. I mean, this is the volatility you want, but I don't want to chase a market that is overextended on the very much more longer term time frames like we see here on like the weekly. As an example, I like to see whenever you have a big move like this, I know it could just have another huge sick run higher, especially after this a couple of months or so of this consolidation move after its tremendous 1 or 4 week move higher. It's a very confusing situation for me. I really have been waiting for at least some gap fill because I have seen so many markets go really high and when they're good still have decent corrections. And this is it's due for one, but it could be still due for one after it does like a similar same thing again later. It's got high risk, high reward. Let's just put it that way. Very high risk and very high reward. Project Aquarium, it's just hanging in there up and down. Nothing stating that it really wants to revert the trend, but it's not as dangerous as one may seem for a down leg, but nothing great or bad from where it was a couple days ago. It had this down day, but it didn't break down too much, and it's already recovered a decent amount. So when you look at something like this, it really is important just to take a look at the move from the last 2 days, 3 days really, and see this short-term high and low and how it's correcting within that range. And just for S and giggles, well, 15-minute is way too short, obviously. 1 hour time frame. Well, there's the man, the volatility on these are so low that it's the only way you really can play these is either long term on the daily or trying to pick away at the bid ask prices. That's the only 2 ways I can think of really playing it. BR breakout, BRK. Really not doing too much. Ethereum. Okay, interesting. It's had one. Well, it's pretty decent red down, pause, decent red down, pause, 2 red down, 2 how do you do, I'm barely going up greens, and a decent size green. Price action is nearing the 18 lows, which is declining. So key Fibonacci is always going to be from this high towards this low. I'm only really focused on Ethereum in one way, and that's crossed against Litecoin actually. So for me, I'm technically not trading this. KMD, which is Komodo, that's another trade that I executed during the time, and I had a small gain on there. I made about 4 Komodo. But within its price action, there's the break of support. Since then, it is now resisting it for the second time. It's doing so within the 18 average of lows. For the last 4 days, new support has been found at the 38,000 level. And that if there's going to be any further decline, okay. Oh, this is really simple technical analysis. I'm going to go over the failed move, fast move situation, of course, further decline in the mix, and that of the web bot, which is talking very big things about it. But they did state in late January it was going to have a very good time, and it really didn't, which is okay. So we got 18,000 as a low, and we got a high of 88,000 and change. $8,088? No. 18,000, then 88. And it's a little higher on the 88 too. So okay. Key numbers 48.2 and then the 33.1. Really? 48 to 33.1. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I don't know what I'm pausing for. Maybe because it's like 12:11 in the morning. So 48 is the area which it has been supporting quite frequently from. We can see at the start of the year 1, 2, 3 moves with very good rallies on each occasion. And then we have the one again on February the 2nd. It comes back down to that area piercing below on the 6th, comes back down to that area on the 13th, and it has this decent sized breakdown on the 20th. So now it's done that decent break. So therefore we'll be looking for a price objective down towards the 33,000 level. See, this is a situation I talk about where, see, this is where I would mathematically be smart to dump a bunch of this. I got an okay amount, a few $1,000s worth. Not many, on the lower end, between 1 and 10. And the way I look at it is, if I sell it, I obviously just wait to buy it back down to the, well, down to the 30,000 area. And then I can technically make about 30%. Now granted, I got a nice little strategy I'm doing to quote unquote profit them as it is. So and I technically could still do that strategy and unload even just 50, 60, 70% of my position and still do that strategy pretty much close to full throttle. So therefore, I could technically do that, wait, come down, buy it back, and I'm going to trade. And a lot of times when I pass on doing it, I mean, it usually would be the right play, and I just don't do it. Okay. But, like I state, if it doesn't go anywhere that near the key level, we've already again seen the major breakdown below. If it just does something like this, and even, well, what's that exact number again? Because if it pierces above that counts. 33. So 34, 35 would count. Yeah, if it really doesn't go, if it goes up from here, this is about as the right area you'd be looking for where the failed breakdown would go towards. So if you're noticing sense that this thing is able to break out and price action is in this area over the next several of days, then you can expect that failed move, fast move to the upside. And in a situation like this, the most conservative level I can state for a fast move would be in the area of where previous high would be. Okay, so that's Komodo. ENG not doing much, and well, it's now at a stage where I don't want to go through all of these charts, just the ones on the biggest up and down moves for now. So let's go over the losers now. Spread coin, SBR, which had its move yesterday in decent gains up to close to the 18 average of highs, which means there's a good chance that I barely missed my sell order on it, but that's all fine and dandy. So it's an attempt to revert the trend. Cloak coin. I mean, these lines, I don't remember when I put this in, but I mean, yeah, I bought at this bottom down here. I remember, or one of them, I do remember buying at the bottom. But I don't like to sell just a little bit above the 18 average of highs when I buy a little bit below the 18 average of lows. So I haven't sold here. I'm waiting for the move up towards there. So you have a nice little, so when you see this move in here, you already know that you, well, some people call this a double bottom or whatever. This is just a retest of previous low. And it's having a decent size correction since then. It's enabled the 18 average to flatten out. Stage number 1 for reversal. So I want to take a look at the last 5 days or so and see more towards this rally, because you have a big green, big red down, okay size green, and it's fading down just a little bit. So let's take a look at this on, say, a 2-hour time frame. And there you have it. See, this is where I should learn how to use a Fibonacci. Oh, no, it'd be okay, I guess, the normal one. But what do we got here for numbers? We'll go the 85 and change handle. So 85. Let's go 86. 86,000 and 3 time for hit high at 185. Key numbers are 115 and 130 and change. Okay, so wait, let me go back to that again. 115, this is, yeah, 130, 115. What's my high again? I got 120 and 85. So in the area of 180, little over, yeah, 105, and then a decent break below 100. So 105 on the way down. We can see it had a little bit of support here. 100, a little bit below, as I stated too. We can see that it is a decent amount below. So this is the big area because it supported that 61.8% down move on what is a correctionary attempt on a little bit longer of a time frame. And you have decent 5 green candle up, enough to make this band have this nice flattening curve. So this is a big pivotal moment at this situation, because on the contrary of breaking this resistance, it's doing what the bull markets are supposed to do, probably going to have a leg higher. And looking at this on like a 400-minute time frame kind of deal, would be setting up for a move of a break above this resistance, of course, probably to that further line. So then when we take a look at it again, if it doesn't manage to do such, and you end up getting what would be on this time frame a failed breakout, because that looks like a conviction play, and if it doesn't do such, then you'd be looking at a breakdown below the support, probably down to this key area. And if it goes down to previous low, looking at this on the 400-minute time frame, then, well, that's that key low that's pretty big on the daily, which would mean it's most likely going to breach through that. Maybe have a quick support test up to about the 97 or 98. Obviously, the keyword to that is maybe. But that would mean that you'd be looking to fill the gap fill down towards here and maybe come down to about the 60 or so handle. So a very, very big situation. No, definitely for sure. Taking a look at THC, I've been very patient with this, and I'm glad I have been. I looked at this and I realized that when you talk about these industry kind of coins, that it did look like it could easily come down to like the 750 area. So I really don't want to get into this till around 1,000-ish or so, I'm thinking. So now here we sit at 1397. This is a beautiful situation. And if you wanted to get in and you want to buy small right now at this spot, by all means, I'd be like, yeah, especially because where we came from an area of 5,000 and it's already down to 14. So there's a lot of good upside move when it's going to gap fill the upside part. But yeah, if you want to try to get good prices, I think best possibly get into 850. But I think 850, 1,000, not that much of a difference really. So I'd probably put a decent amount in at 1,000, then just keep buying on the way down in there. So to me, I see that as a good entry price. Further technical analysis, you made this low in here. It could be just a match of this low and just a small pierce below and just settle in from this point on, maybe. But I would expect a further decline for so many reasons. And yeah, ever since this thing was rolling over, or just was such a big move, sort of like I've been showing with the other chart earlier on, which is the one that was going way up. Anyway, that I want ZCL. I want to wait for decent moves down when it has enormous moves up. That's the whole point. When you go from 275 to like 5,000 and you have your 20x moves. So when you're talking 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 40, 50x moves, any of those insane sick moves, I want an insane sick sell-off to get back in. That hasn't happened with Z Classic. It is happening right now with THC. IOC. Here's a situation where it's grinding itself lower. And I'm just going to have to remind myself. Just to take a look at those before I go to bed. Meme. Did I get a sell order in here? Anyway. I don't think I did. I would have remembered. And then UKG grinding its way down lower. I do own some of that, so I may want to buy a small amount more. Vertcoin. Oh, this is the last one because I am getting tired and I want to go to bed soon. That you have the band flattening out, resistance established. It has already came back to the band. So when a move like this happens, you have this low, you come up, make a whatever lower high, and you can't get past the 18 average, that's whatever. But you correct very solid, staying above the 18 lows, and then you have this move on February 15th. Because of that, if that move fails, that's again a failed move I'd be looking at, and I'd be looking for gap fill down towards, you can calculate some fib levels. This thing has had a very good run higher, but you'd be looking to maybe test down towards 22, 20, 19, and right now it's at 37, so it's got some, and even 26, 20, 25, it's got some decent downside potential within it. With that being said, because of its nice movement and several days correcting still with a rising 18 average, if it manages to get above it and you can see that type of stuff, this thing would be ready to have very good moves to the upside. And I said I'd finish this off, but yeah, I'm done. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day.